Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video I want to talk to you about the topic of settle my workers' comp for $1. Are you crazy? What is a dollar contract and why would I ever agree to that? Well, I'm about to tell you. I had a guy who called me who's represented by another attorney. His wife was in a very, very serious accident, and she has a third party and a workers' comp case. Now, I've shot a bunch of videos on that, but basically, he took the advice of somebody he knew who said, so-and-so lawyer, he's a real big shot, he's a real shark in the courtroom. Well, this shark in the courtroom never calls him back. This shark in the courtroom stands to make about a fee on the case of about $170,000. And Mr. Shark in the courtroom won't tell him what he's doing on the case, and the case has been dragging on for 4 years. So he literally, last time he talked to him was about 1.5 years ago, and he told him and his wife that he's too busy to talk to him, which is not how I treat people when they have even a small case, but that's water under the bridge. Anyway, the guy called me and I told him, look, I can't give you legal advice because I'm not your lawyer, number one. And number two, I don't know any of the details. But he told me after some, I told him, look, I'm happy to answer your general questions. My advice is call your current lawyer and insist on a sit down. Insist on him carving out 20 minutes of his super busy big shot day and explain to you, make him earn some of that $170,000 fee he's going to make on your wife's substantial injury case, and make him just answer your questions. I told him, like, why do you think I'm going to answer your questions for free, but you're going to pay this guy $170,000 out of your wife's pain and suffering and misery, and he won't talk to you? I mean, that's nuts. And I told him I can't even give you the right answers because I don't know the file. I have to know the file to really give you legal advice. Plus, it's unethical for an attorney to interfere with the representation of another lawyer. It's unethical. Get in trouble for that as a lawyer. He still wanted general questions, and he said, blah, 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 $1, settle the comp case for $1. And I explained to him what I'm about to explain to you, okay? The first thing you need to understand is that when you have a comp case and a third-party case, it's a situation where you're on the clock, you're doing your job, and a third party hurts you. So it could be a construction area where one of the other companies digs a hole and doesn't guard it out and you fall in it. But the most common probably is like a truck driver or a delivery driver who's on the clock doing their delivery, and some guy runs a light, or some guy who loaded the truck wrong, or wasn't safe about how he was loading the truck, or like I said, you're a delivery driver and somebody runs into your truck. You're on the clock, so you're covered by workers' comp, but the guy who ran into you with his vehicle is also culpable. So one accident, but 2 cases. Now, the thing there is such a thing as a dollar contract, or at least in the state of Illinois there is. This is what happens when strategically you stand to make a lot of money in the third party case. Now, that's only going to happen if the third party driver, let's use the example of a truck driver and somebody runs into the truck. So you're on the clock, so you got workers' comp, but you also have an insurance claim or a third-party lawsuit against whoever ran into you, right? Well, the guy who ran into you, you're going to be limited by how much insurance there is, right? So if they have the state minimum $25,000, $50,000 policy in Illinois, you're very limited. You're limited to $25,000. If they have 5,100, you're limited to 50 if one person got hurt. But what happens if you have workers' comp and then you also have a substantial insurance policy? So let's say a major over-the-road trucking company, or FedEx, or UPS, or Coca-Cola, or a city vehicle or something like that runs into you. Well, they have giant insurance policies and the financial ability to pay a big judgment. So none of this becomes that big of a deal in a very small case, although it can. But definitely when you have a huge company truck that runs into you and causes you injury in this situation, then that's when the dollar contract really comes into play. Now sometimes so the way it works is you get hurt at work, so you got a comp claim, you got a third party claim. Right away, a good comp lawyer is going to make sure two things happen right out of the gate. First, that you get paid TTD. In other words, you're getting paid while you're off work. Second, your doctors are getting paid. So you're able to get the medical care you need right away, no hassle, no BS, right? So let's say 6 months later, let's say a year later, you're better. Let's say you've had a few surgeries, your medical bills are substantial. Workers' comp has paid all the medical bills, and they've paid all your lost wages. And now your third party lawyer is saying, hey, they want to come to the table, but you have a substantial third party case. And remember, in my other videos, I tell you, as a general rule, for the same injury, you get way less for workers' comp in your pocket than you do in PI, in third party cases, right? So if you have a car crash case where there's also a workers' comp, you're likely going to get more money out of the third party case than you will in the workers' comp. But the advantage of comp is they pay you while you're off work, and they're supposed to pay your medical bills, although they don't always do that. They also don't always pay you. A lot of times it has to be a fight. So anyway, Reader's Digest on this thing is, if they have a substantial policy, strategically it can be the case where it makes sense for, okay, the last thing before we talk about that. Your workers' comp carrier, the workers' comp defendant, respondent, your employer and their insurance company, they have a lien on your injury case, on your third-party injury case. So I'll give you a for example. You have to pay them 75% back out of what they paid. And what they paid includes your time off work, your medical bills, and the lump sum of money that they pay you at the end, but it can also be other stuff. There's other remedies under workers' comp, but that's out of the scope of this video. So basically, they add up everything. We'll take the scenario we were dealing with. A year later, you're done going to the doctor. You still have serious medical problems. You're going to be seeing the doctor on a maintenance basis, but there's no more surgeries. Let's say you already had 3 surgeries. They got you as good as you can get. So, and let's say the trucking company that ran into you has $1 million of insurance, right? Well, workers' comp paid you while you were off work. Let's say that's $60,000. They paid all of your medical bills. Let's say that's $100,000, right? That's $160,000. Now you're going after, let's say, $1 million insurance policy. 70% of $60,000 is probably in the range of, I don't know, $80,000, $90,000. So when you're negotiating with the other insurance company, if they offer you $250,000 to settle your case, $100,000 of that is getting peeled off the top to go to the workers' comp carrier to pay them back. So if the offer that you get from the insurance is, let's say, $300, it's really only $200, right? Because $100 of that is going to the workers' comp carrier. So this is why lawyers will do dollar contracts. What a dollar contract says is that, look, workers' comp guys, you're not going to get paid your money back in this third-party case, but we're going to settle the case for $1. We're not going to ask you for a lump sum of money at the end of the comp case, but we want you to just write off your lien. We'll settle the case for $1. You go your way, we go our way, but now we got a clean shot at the injury case. And it's actually the best thing in the world for the injured person if the circumstances are right. Now look, there are circumstances where I would never agree to a dollar contract. But when the circumstances are right, it can mean a lot more money in the injured person's pocket, okay? Because what do you get in your pocket? You get the PPD, the lump sum of money at the end of a workers' comp case. So let's say for the part of the body, the percentage of the part of the body, your hourly rate, they look at the chart, they do the math, you're looking at a range, a settlement range, a PPD range of 60 to 80,000. So now let's say it's worst case scenario, it's 60. So you got 100,000 plus 60 plus 60, that's 220 in workers' comp lien against the third party case, but it's 75% of that. So you're looking at about 100, let's say about 160. So now when you get that $300,000 offer, you're literally dealing with a $300,000 offer becomes a $140,000 offer. Now, if you take that same scenario and dollar contract it out, you don't get the 60 from workers' comp at the end of the case, but your $300,000 offer is a $300,000 offer. So that dollar contract ends up putting $160,000 more money in the bucket for you in the third party case. So it's a hell of a lot better outcome for an injured worker. But listen, I'm going to caution you. You can't propose or agree to a dollar contract all the time. It's not automatically a better deal for the injured worker. That's why you need somebody on your side to look at all those numbers. And it's like I tell you in these videos, a lot of this stuff is simple and it's basic. A lot of this stuff is simple and it's basic, and you can understand it if somebody's explaining it to you the right way. But if somebody's not explaining it to you, you could agree to a dollar contract and you could really regret it in the future, because you need the right language in that settlement contract. And if you let the respondent, the defense, the workers' comp company do all the language in there, they might not put the right language in there for you. So anyway, that's, listen, dollar contracts sometimes could be the best thing ever for an injured person, but you have to be careful about them. That's really what it comes down to. A dollar contract refers to settling a comp case for $1, but it avoids the workers' comp lien on your third party case, right? And it usually means you put way more money in your pocket if you're using it rightly or correctly, and if you've got somebody who puts the contract language in there that's right. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you and your family are well. If you or anyone you know needs to talk to an injury lawyer, please give me a call anytime, day or night, for free. 312-500-4500. That's 312-500-4500. Call me anytime. If you're not ready to talk to a lawyer, I have two really cool tools on my website. The Case Cash Calculator tells you what your case might be worth in settlement, and the Good Case Calculator tells you whether you have a good case or you might have a tough case. Both of those tools are completely free. Links in the description. Literally takes you 10 to 20 seconds and you get an answer for free and no obligation. If you enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe. And if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, I'll leave a link in the description where you can leave me a 5-star review on Google. If you wouldn't mind doing it, you just go to the URL, the web address in the description down there, and it takes you right to the page. Click 5 stars, say a kind word, hit submit. Literally 5 to 10 seconds for you, but invaluable favor to me. So if you wouldn't mind doing it, if you like my videos and you don't mind helping me out, I'd really appreciate it. So once again, thank you for watching and have a great day. Take care.